I hope my screen is visible to you.
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Okay. So, good afternoon to one and all. It's a really immense pleasure for me again joining with you. So, we are in Faculty Development Program series on quantum technology, QT-03, QT-04, Basics of Quantum Computing and Technologies Lab. And in today's topic, we're going to discuss about data storage and retrieval, memory allocation, simple algorithm, sorting and searching. So topic is intensive. Again, each and every topic belongs to a separate course. I try to abridge within 2 hours as much as possible. So most of us we know, even though we belongs to different department and domain. Suppose if you want to store data, there are different type of storage devices available. Okay, so storage device could be based upon optical, magnetic, and flash memory technology. So take an example of optical. So we are using CD, DVD, Blu-ray disc. Some of us don't know what is the back-end principle, but even though we used in earlier days, okay, certainly we are using hard disk. In very earlier days, we used floppy in 80s and 90s. Then we used, right now we are using USB, okay. For camera, we are using memory card and SD. Even in phone, we are using memory card. So if you want to describe storage devices, so it will come under where your data will get stored, okay, even though your computer is off. So storage device used to store normally for temporary purpose as well as long-term purpose. So it contains two process. It will do two process. Either you can write data in your storage device or you can read data from your storage device. So what are the storage terms you need to understand? You need to understand the media is material storing your data. Okay. So whatever the media you're about to store your data, you are able to store your data. Give 1 second. Yes. So storage device also manage media, and also magnetic device uses a magnet, and optical device uses laser, and solid state device having physical switch. So depends upon your media, it's going to use different kind of technologies to store your data. So each and every device, each and every technology have its own pros and cons. So the most form of common storage media is hard disk, floppy drive, tape. Even though in today's scenario, magnetic tape are much more safer when compared to hard disk. Okay, so magnetic tape are much more safer when compared to SSD. Okay, so you can store, you can retain data for a longer amount of time if you have magnetic tape, even though still it is old technology, but it is much more safer. The longevity you will get in your data storage. Okay, and also all these devices work on magnetic drives. Okay, so whatever the technology you are using over the tape, floppy drive, hard drive, everything belongs to same technology using magnets. So this is the refresh of magnetic storage devices. So we are using magnetic head to store in floppy disk, tape and hard disk. The size differs according to the format and media. So maximum we can store 1.4 MB of data in floppy disk, where in case of hard disk, it can store until 500 GB or 1 terabyte. And tape, normally we won't use to store data in computer, but for in audio cassette. Okay. So even your audio cassette is a storage device. So with the help of this magnetic storage device, what you can do, you can store your data, you can retrieve your data. So if the media is covered with iron oxide, so this contains magnetic property. So each and every time, if you have read and write head, it contains a magnet. It will move along with your tape. Okay. So magnet writes charges on the media. So positive charge is 1, negative charge is 0. So this is how we are representing binary data into two different levels. Okay. So if it is positively charged, it is considered like 1. If it is negatively charged, it is defined as 0. Okay. So each and everything, every time you can write, you can use magnetic hedge to read your data. Okay. So reading and writing, audio is not clear. Is it clear now? Is it clear now?
Yes, yes, sir. It is clear, sir.
Fine.
I think there was some network issue on the other side, but because here it was clear.
Okay. If screen is not visible, please rejoin. So each and every time the drive converts charges into binary. Okay. So the information is physical. So what you can get from this, the information is always physical. Okay. We are representing information in different way in each and every media. So that is the crux you need to learn. So this is an example for a hard disk. Okay. So hard disk contains a metallic plate. So this is the disk surface you can see, and each and everywhere ion particle exists across the surface. So by using this ion particle, you can magnetize a certain location. Okay. If you are magnetized north to south, it will represent 0, or south to north, it will represent 1. By differentiating your direction of current, you're able to differ your physical storage of your device. Okay. So it will spin. So each and every time you need to know where you are pointing your disk and what is the data you are storing in that location. Okay. So one thing you need to use, you need to use any physical principle to store your data. Then you need to know how to organize your data over that media. Okay. So for that, we need to format our disk before doing any usage. Okay. So format draws track on the disk. So your disk contains so many tracks. You can subdivide into so many tracks, and tracks divided into sectors. So this is how we are able to organize our data over that media. Right. So if you take any floppy disk on hard disk, this is the architecture, logical architecture. Okay, based upon this logical architecture, we are about to store our data. Okay, so this is like mapping. Okay, this is like mapping. You can say like uh, um, front page of your book. Okay, so what is the topic, where it is located in the entire book. In the same way, you need to maintain a record for your entire floppy disk or entire hard disk. So this is how you are able to store any file in your hard disk or any storage media. Okay. So once you're able to store your data in organized way, then after some point of time, if you want to retrieve your data, you need to find your data over the disk. Okay. So that is why each and every track and sector need to be labeled. So if you do so, all these tracks and sectors are labeled and properly organized, and some partition you are able to reserve for some purpose, special purpose. Take an example of operating system. Okay. Suppose if you install Microsoft Windows in your hard disk, in your laptop, a specified portion of that hard disk only allocated for storing your operating system. Okay. It is not commonly used for general purpose. So you can categorize your storage in different variety. So one for operating system, one for general purpose. Okay. So in same way, you can have a different types of technology or different types of format store your data. So take an example of Windows. Windows, we have FAT called file allocation table. So in floppy disk, we have FAT. In hard disk, we have FAT. And FAT32 represents 32-bit organization. Okay. So your files are organized into 32-bit. And the third one is NTFS, new file storage format. So latest Windows 11 and 10, they will use NTFS. In earlier days, Windows 7, they will use FAT32. So these are minute difference between how you're going to organize your data. Okay. So if you organize your data in the form of cluster, the size of the data, OS easily can handle it. So OS should know how much of data it could able to handle at a stretch. So that is why each and every file has some limitation. So take an example of MS Word or Excel. You cannot store a terabyte of data in a single file. Okay, so that is the problem. Each and every time you need to know how much your data reserves and how much that file format able to represent your data. Okay, so normally they call disk. Floppy disk belongs to this category. It will be able to read your disk drive. Okay, it will spin 300 RPM. So again, if you want to read data fastly, if you want to write data fastly, you need to spin at higher RPM. Okay, so it will take 2 seconds to find a data across your floppy disk. So that is why 3/2 of the floppy disk holds 1.4 MB. So this is how you can determine how much of your data you are able to store in a particular physical medium. So it is based upon how you are organizing your data over your device. So when compared to floppy disk, hard disk have enormous amount of storage capacity. Okay, so it will use like a primary storage device in a computer. So it contains 2 or 3 more aluminum platters. So each platter contains 2 sides. So you can use both of these sides to store your data. And this pin is between 5,400 RPM to 15,000 RPM. So based upon this speed, you can easily read your data and write your data in much more faster way. Suppose if you are using all this for scientific computation or for network storage device or cluster computing, you need to go for higher RPM. If you are using for personal use, you can choose 4,500 RPM. So based upon your purpose, this you need to select your device speed. Okay. Accordingly, cost will increase and decrease. So higher RPM, your device cost is so much high. Okay. And what is the beauty? You can find your data in 9.5 milliseconds or even then less than that. So if you know your hard disk, if you know your hardware of your storage, you can decide how much faster you are able to write your data, how much faster you are able to read your data. Okay. So before doing any storage function, we need to know about your storage medium and hardware specifications. So this is how a hard disk is illustrated. It contains multiple disks and each and every disk could be read by 2 magnetic hits. So these are coined as access arm, right? So it contains magnetic hit. Okay, so it is used for read and write purpose. And sometimes you are able to remove your storage device. Take an example of floppy disk, which is removable. But hard disk, most of the time, it is fixed to your CPU or laptop. Sometimes you can use external hard disk, which is removable. So you need to understand whether your storage device is removable or not, whether it is fixed to your motherboard or you are able to remove your data from that. Okay, to store your operating system, frequently if you are using your device to use your operating system, it should be fixed. So this is the thumb rule. So this is the very old technology when compared to hard disk. They use tape drive. So still some of the secured format of data is tape drive. So if you are using infrequently accessed data, they will store in tape drive. Even in AWS, if you want to have the cheapest storage media, you can use tape drive. Still AWS using tape drive to store your data. Okay, so sequentially it is very, very slow access and the capacity exceeds 200 GB. Okay, so normally if you want to store your data for longer amount of time, you can go for tape drive.
So nowadays it is not sold in any external partners, but AWS having tape drive storage options. So this is excellent for backup solution. So most of the banks, they will use tape drive to back up their data. And this is very fascinating. If you want to know how optical storage devices, example CD, DVD, or Blu-ray disc, we are about to store our data. So it is based upon the reflective layers. So it contains a plastic disc. Plastic disc contains a reflective surface. So whenever if you want to write data, you need to use a laser lamp. So laser lamp will project a high power laser. So it will burn surface over your disk surface. Okay. So it will burn a small pit over your surface. It is represented as data 1. If it is not doing anything, it will represent as data 0. So we are differentiating the physical surface into two different categories. So this is how we are doing. Okay. For writing purpose, we are using high power laser. For reading purpose, we are not using high power laser. We are using low power laser. Okay. So everything is based upon your reflective property. Okay. So reflective property. So what is the difference between CD and DVD? CD, we are using a wider frequency, or you can say wavelength of the laser light. But in DVD, we are using very narrow wavelength of laser light. That is why we are able to store 18 GB of data. So sometimes you can go for 21 GB of data using DVD. So maximum you can store 700 or 800 MB in CD, where in case of DVD, you can reach up to 18 GB. So by changing your laser light frequency, you can store enormous amount of data. If you are using double side, again you are able to store enormous amount of data. So it is always based upon how good you are using your physical devices and how we are optimizing the way you are writing and reading your data. Okay. So this is an example. So sometimes you can rewrite your optical disc. So in early 20s, we used re-recordable CD and DVD. I'll skip all this slide. All these are outdated. So we arrived solid state devices, which is exactly look like your thumb drive or pen drive. Okay. So nowadays the SSD, okay, the latest form of hard disk is SSD. It will store your data physically and in longer form. It won't use any magnets nor a laser. Okay. It just uses how your RAM works. In the same way we are using transistor inside your SSD. So which is much more safer, much more faster, and the device become much more cheaper. Okay. So when compared to hard disk, this is 10 times faster. Okay. So if you are using any hard disk, so try to switch over to SSD. So you can boost your computer speed up to 10 times. So solid state devices using flash memory. So you can reuse the devices, not like CD. Okay. CD, once you write, you cannot use it one more time. Okay. So sometimes if you are using a rewritable CD, then it is possible. But solid state device is like flash memory. Anytime if you want to write your data, you can change your data. You can rewrite your data at any number of time. Okay. So it is the combination of both RAM and ROM. So you can imagine in this way. Okay. So most of the solid state devices in new gen devices, it is found in camera and most of the USB drives, right? And it is a long-term updatable storage. So can increase the capacity. So this is important parameter if you are choosing your storage devices, whether it is scalable or not, whether you are able to increase the memory size or not. Okay. So this will give leverage for your system. Okay. Without replacing your system, you can upgrade your system. So all the smart cards nowadays, it contains solid state device. So all your credit card with chip, Wi-Fi card, so all will come with solid state devices. It will store your data. It will automatically read by just a tapping. It is used for cash transaction. So most of the time we are using in hotels. Okay, RFID are also we able to use. And so much of technology evolves, all your RAM capacity will get increased to maximum. So right now we are using DDR5. Okay, so DDR5 type of RAM, which is extremely fast and it supports volatile storage and it will require battery backups. Okay, sometimes if you are using in your RAM, so it is volatile. So you cannot store for longer time. So each and every time you need to process and compute, you need to back up to SSD. Okay, so solid state device is a technology, but according to the purpose, the way it store your data actually differs. Okay, so you need to move all your data from SD RAM to your hard disk or SSD. Suppose if you want to store text form of data, okay, normally what we are using MS Word or Notepad. So if you are using this software, so these documents are making your text as searchable. Okay, so all these data are represented in Unicode. So in previous slide, we just covered what are these types of device storages and its nature and its capacity. But in this slide, we're going to cover what is the format our data about to store in our devices. Okay, suppose if you want to store a textual data, they need to use a textual application, a MS Word or Notepad or WordPad. In case of Linux, you can use LibreOffice. Okay, so text is most frequently we are using. Even though if you are using PowerPoint, we use most of the time textual data, right? So all these data represented in the form of Unicode. Okay, so Unicode will convert all your text into machine readable code. So take an example of your font. If you are using Arial, if you are using Times New Roman, so each and every font contains a separate character set. And English has separate Unicode and Telugu has separate Unicode. So accordingly, you can store your data, you can represent your data in the form of a tabular format. Okay, so take an example of image documents. So whatever the images are shown in the PPT, it is in the form of matrix. So it is not searchable. So searching some information from text is ultimately easy, but searching some information from image is not that much easy. Okay, because it is represented in the form of pixels, right? So if you imagine, yeah, if you imagine a picture, okay, so picture contains pixels. So each and every pixel contains color information, combination of color, combination of intensity, combination of luminance. Okay, so it is the combination of all these aspects. That is why we have variety of color formation in a picture. So there are two best way to retrieve some document images. So recognition based upon retrieval, OCR. Suppose if you have notes in handwritten format, this OCR will recover information from your document. So OCR stands for optical character recognition. Suppose if you are writing some notes, you are able to convert into textual form. Okay, so most of the software nowadays it contains OCR, and if you want to use recognition free retrieval, okay, just you can directly scan from the document. Okay, so you can do in multiple ways. I will give example for OCR. Suppose if you have image, suppose if you have this image, I will take any visiting card image. So what I do, I will crop this image. I need information from this image, right? So I copy it. I use OneNote application. So if you are using Windows, please use OneNote. So which is very good for note taking, extracting information from image. So this is my image. I want to search information out of this image. So I need to convert into text. Okay. So what I do, I will copy text from picture and I will paste over here. So are you able to see how easily able to extract information from a image? Okay. This is little complex when compared to text file. So try this tool. So this is very easy for Mac. I don't know. Still I am using Windows. OneNote application, search in your Windows. OneNote, I shared OneNote application. So if you Google, you can get OneNote from Microsoft. So this is how you are able to take quick notes. Okay, no need to use multiple tabs. Okay, you can take notes, you can use calculator, you can use Excel, right? So it is in this way. Suppose if you want to take notes about today's class, data storage. Okay, so I can take any notes, I can write over here. So topic 1. So I can add more pages over here, right? So easily I can add more pages under a common tab. Data storage. So this is data storage. Again, you can use multiple page in this data storage. So it is like a diary, personalized diary. So you can have n number of notes under a single column. So this is the beauty about OneNote. Yes. Next, we can see how to retrieve information. So most of the information retrieval, it is the process of searching. So in earlier days, we use Google, Yahoo, or Baidu, which is belongs to China. Okay. So all this search engine will search through a large corpus data, okay, which is in the form of unstructured. So in last class, we studied about data structure, okay, how you're going to organize your data. So it belongs to data structure concept, but 95% of the data available in the internet, okay, it is unstructured. So that is why Google and Yahoo are so successful. So retrieving your information from huge amount of corpus, it is a challenging task. So that is why nowadays we are using ChatGPT, because it not only retrieve your information, also it will do summarize. So it will bring meaningful information instead of a line by line link. Okay, so that is very beautiful aspects, right? So this is how we are able to retrieve information in earlier days. Okay, so most of the time, information retrieval based upon the text based, but right now you are able to extract information from image also. You are able to retrieve information from video also. So that is why people are struggling to get information from image or video or audio, because it is very, very complex. Okay, it contains lot of patterns. So identifying patterns in text is ultimately easy, but identifying patterns in image, audio, video is quite challenging, right? And also information retrieval from different languages make it much more complex. Okay, so 80% of the data available in English. So that is why we got lot of information in the English. Suppose if you want to search any information in Telugu, the corpus is very, very limited. In Tamil, the corpus is very, very limited. Okay. So based upon the available data, you are able to retrieve information out of it. Okay. So these are few examples. So today go on ask a tool like this. So Google, Lexis, okay, WebSeek, Safe, Cubic are used for multimedia. So these are separate search engines. Okay, so you can use answer bus or AskGs like a question and answer, just like Chat GPT. Okay, and you can use digital or virtual libraries. We have each and every college have some libraries, right? Intranet. So to do cross language and multilingual, we will use Google Translate. So in earlier days, there is no Google Translate. It is much more difficult. They develop individual tool for individual language translation. But Google incorporated most of the language in their translator. Now it becomes much more easy. So what happens when you try to retrieve your information from your document? Okay, it will act like a bridge. It will serve like a bridge. Okay, so user don't know where your information exists. Okay, so your IR engine will act like a black box. So you don't know how it fetches information for you. It's just giving your query and it will retrieve for you. So this is how most of the times happens, right? We don't know how our internal architecture of Google works. Just we give query, it will fetch data for you. So you can look what is the basic architecture of IR system. So IR system retrieving most of the information from document corpus from the data center, you can imagine. So it is a data center. Okay. So from the data center, you don't know how to access the data. What do you do? Just you formatting a query string. Just your query through the Google, right? So Google, what it will do, it will rank each and every web page. Suppose if you are looking car in Hyderabad. So what happens? Google will search what are the websites related to Hyderabad. In Hyderabad, what are the websites they are dealing with car sales. So it will rank accordingly. So more number of relevant words, it will give first rank. Okay. So less number of relevant word, it will give second rank. Okay. So if you go and search about Google search algorithm, it is page ranking algorithm. So it will rank each and every website according to the rank. Okay. So first rank web page will come as first result. So accordingly 20 rank will come. So next ranking web pages will go to next tab. So this is how companies are getting profited. Okay. So most frequently, if it is appearing in Google, more profit they will get out of it. Okay. So what happens actually at the back end of Google? So they have some program like Spider. So what this Spider will do, it will travel between each and every web page. So how Spider will travel between each and every web, same way it will travel along each and every web page. So it will gather the information and it will create document corpus like an index, right? So it will give all this information to your IR system or Google search engine. Suppose if you give some query, it will fetch out of that ranked web pages or relevant documentation. So most of the time, your Google or ChatGPT will give likelihood answer, or it will give relevant document or relevant information according to your query. So if you want to get the clear result, your query should be very clear. Okay, your prompt should be very, very clear. So this is how you are able to look at your web page. Okay. So user interface, this is your Google web page, and whatever the user needs, he will give through a search operation. So this search operation is pre-processed. Okay. So this will go and do a query formation like database query. Okay. So this query is sent for searching, and it will go and search for ranking web pages. So it will give all your ranked web pages. Okay. So everything you got from text database. So each and every text contains some text documents. Okay. So all these text documents are indexed in proper way. So this is how a search engine operation works. So normally your information is retrieved in this way. So most of us know how we are getting answer from the Google, but we don't know in the backend process. Okay, you can think in this way. So there is a system, there is a user. So user want to know some information in the right hand side, and he will create some problem statement or query statement. He will generate some query. So this query is sent to your system. Your system will acquire information from the database. It will represent through a file organization. If your query and the information is matching, it will send back to you. So it will send back to your user ID. So if it is not matching, it will say no relevant information is available. Sometimes Google will give up. It will say no relevant information. So based upon this available data, if data is not available, it will say no available data. Same way, if you go for ChatGPT, whatever if you are looking, if your query is so bad, or if your query is very, very new, that ChatGPT cannot able to retrieve their data, it will say refine your format or refine your statement. So we covered the first topic of today's topic. Okay. Now we are moving to data storage. So we start from classical language C. So there are different types of storage classes available in C language. One is automatic, one is static. Okay. In the automatic, you will get two different category. One is auto. So if you are declaring a variable or not, it will do automatic assignment. But if you want to specifically use register in your motherboard, you need to specify register keyword. Okay. So if you want to use faster execution, then you can go for register keyword. In the same way, if you want to use any data within that file, it is a static. But if you want to access data from other file, you need to use extend keyword. So it is based upon how you want to use your storage, you need to select your storage classes. Okay, so as we discussed, there are different types of data types available in C. So according to your purpose, you need to select. Take an example of primary data type. In primary data type, you can use character, you can use integer, float, double, void. Okay, so look at the first one, character. If you want to store a single character, then you can go for character. But if you want to store a multiple character, you can use character array. Okay, so look at the right side. You can derive data type out of your primary data. Okay, so have character. If you want to store a string, then you can use character array. In the same way, if you want to use some hardware location, then you can go for pointer. Then if you want to store a different types of data types under a common name, you can go for structure. Okay, so if you want to use multiple data type in a short form memory space, then you can go for union. Suppose if you want to store a specified data, only 1 bit, but you need to represent 7 different types of variable, then you can go for enum. Okay. Likewise, there are so many different data types available in C. So according to your purpose, you need to select this data type like a tool. So in future classes, we'll explain each and everything with example. So just now you remember, there are two different types of data types in C, primary and secondary. Okay. So based upon the data type, how are you going to derive, or it is built in, you can categorize in different way. So this is based upon the primitive. Primitive is somewhat inbuilt. So default C compiler or C compiler, it contains character, int, float, double, void. Okay. So out of this primitive, we are able to derive your own data type. So that is array pointer function. Okay. In the same way, user want to specifically define some data type, they can go for enum structure union. So likewise, you have so much of freedom to create your own data type in C. So C will give powerful data sets. Okay. So whatever the problem you have, C will solve most of your problem in much more convenient way. So likewise, once you know your data type, then you need to know what is the range you are able to store. So take an example of character. So character demands 1 byte of data, 1 byte of storage space, where you can store character range from 128 to 127. Okay. So what is the format string? Percentage C, right? So I will give an example for this. So go to online C compiler, online C compiler. So here you can declare character input equal to single character A, right? Semicolon. What you can do, you can write data equal to percentage C, comma input. So we should be very careful about these codes. Yes. So I'll share this link with you. Share this link with you. If you are new to C, just go to this link. Where to look for this tool? Chat option. Yes. So go to this link. Go to this link. Try this program. So I'll zoom it for your convenience. So look at line number 2. So this is header file. So this is header file. This stdio.h is header file. Okay. So int main is main function. So normally line number 4 is called main function. So line number 6, what we are doing, we are declaring a character type called char. So we already cover the character data type, and we are declaring a variable for this. So input is a character data type. So equal sign, which means which will assign some value for that variable. Okay. So what we are assigning a character value A. So within a single quote, it is a character. Now input contains character value A. So look at line number 7. Line number 7 is called printf. So this is a function call. So how you know it is a function call? Because of this parenthesis. So within this parenthesis, we are giving double quotes, data equal to percentage C, and we are closing this double quote, comma, input. Okay. then we are closing this parenthesis, then we are completing this function. And what is the output we got? Output we got data equal to A. Now we can change anything over here. Anything over here. So T. So try to run this. Now it will give T. Okay. Suppose if you are mismatching your data type and this format specifier like D. So D represents integer. Now observe what happens. It will give irrelevant information. For your understanding, I'll share this code. So likewise, you try to modify your code, try to observe what is happening in the backend, then only you can understand programming. So here I did a small mistake. So instead of character, I put %d. So which entirely means the integer value of t. The integer value of t. Okay. So there is a table called ASCII table. ASCII table. So go and search ASCII table. And you can find what is the value of t. So here you can find what is the value of t. The value of t is 116, right? That is why we got 116. I'll share this link with you. We already discussed, right? So ASCII table is like a format matrix. So each and every character in your keyboard, they assign some ASCII value. So one example we covered, the first one character 1, it will take only 1 byte, and range you can store from 128 to 127. Okay. Suppose if you are storing a character without any negative value, then it is unsigned integer. So here there is a small mistake. Here it is minus 128 to 127. So what is the meaning of unsigned? It is positive. Okay, it is positive. So normally if there is no unsigned means it is signed. So it is by default. It is by default. That is why this word is no more there. Okay. So if you are only using positive, then you can save 128. So 128 plus 128, it will lead to 256. Because it is starting from 0, you got double the amount of memory range. So this is one trick you need to understand. Whether your data value only contain positive, go for unsigned. Suppose if your data value contains negative value, go for signed, as usual, normal. Okay. So likewise, you are able to increase your data size or you are able to decrease your data size. So accordingly, you need to select prefix. So imagine these are like prefix. So if you use short character, okay, long character, everything will change. So short int, long int. Okay. So like float, long float, double float, you are able to change your data accordingly. Right. So one more program I will give. So this is to understand how the data is stored in your compiler and what is the size it will occupy. Okay, we will take the previous program. In previous program we used character. Now we want to know how much memory space allocated for that character, and we will compare with some integer. We'll compare with some integer. So go back to that website. Go back to that website. I try to increase font size. So now what I will do, I will give an integer variable. So int a equal to 3. Okay. Float b equal to 5.8. C equal to some S. So I gave 3 different data types. One is for integer, one is for fractional value, one is for character. Now what I will do, I try to print each and every one. First for integer. So a equal to percentage d. Here you need to change accordingly. So a. So next what you can do, you can print size of a. So what I will give space size equal to percentage d. Here I need to mention size of a. I will check this whether it is working or not. It is working. So try to print float and character by yourself. So use this code, use that link, try to run your program. So I gave the first example, right? So I try to print integer a equal to percentage d. So it will give value of a. Next, I try to print size of that variable. So what is the size of that variable? Size of a. So integer will occupy 4 bytes. So copy the same line, paste 2 times, change here float. Now it is b. Okay. So what is the value of b? So value of b belongs to f point. Next, what I will do, I try to print size of float, which is an integer. So you give percentage d, but you need to change argument over here, size of b. Next, you give character c. So give c because it is character. So this is same c. Here you change as c. I try to resize this window. Not able to resize. Okay. So before all this line, you put /n, which is new line. Now try to run. Now you can see difference. To avoid this format, you can give /t format. So this is important aspect in programming. You need to format your output as much as possible. Size. Here / or more format. Okay, fine. So I'll share this code with you. Just try and run. So this is how we are able to give a variable and able to check what is the memory size allocated for that variable. Okay, so if you are a programmer, if you are a developer, you need to know how much memory you are consuming by your program. Okay. So this is an example for an array. So you can use multiple variable under a common name, which is called array. Okay. So I will use the same program to represent array. I will use the same program. So here, instead of a single variable, I will use a group of variable. So what I can do, I'll give 3 different values. I try to run. I'll share this code with you. So this is an example for array. And you can notice one error in your output. So value of integer a equal to some random value, because it will print the entire array value. So we need to specify each and everything. Okay. So we need to specify a of 1. So do little modification over here. A of 0, the first value. Now we will get the exact output. So when you try to learn any programming, you need to notice all these mistakes and all these error. So this is my suggestion. Now if you change 0 to 1, you will access the second value. So I will change 1 over here. I try to run. Now we will get a equal to 4. So 3 belongs to 0, 4 belongs to 1, 6 belongs to 2. So array will start from 0 to n minus 1. Okay. So how will you calculate the memory size? So integer will take 4 bytes. Okay. So A contains 3 variable. So 3 into 4, total 12 bytes. So this is how you need to calculate. Okay. So very good. Now we are moving to Python. Okay. So try to learn C language first, then please move on to Python. So it will give some insights. So in Python, memory management involve handling temporary data storage, okay, needed using program execution. So such as variable, literal, you're able to allocate for memory. Okay. If program expands, efficient memory management become more crucial to maintain speed and efficiency, especially in Python, because Python is much more slower when compared to C and C++. And also, if you want to use large scale application in AI and data science, you need to be very cautious. Okay. To do that, we need to have Python memory manager. So which is a inbuilt software feature. It will take responsibility to manage your memory allocation and deallocation automatically and simultaneously. So in C language, you don't have automatic memory management, but in Python, there is a already default feature called Python memory manager. So you need to know your language strength and weakness. So in this case, Python have very strong memory management. Okay. So again, Python contains 2 types of memory allocation. One is static memory, one is dynamic memory allocation. Okay. So all this function we able to declare in Python code each and every one of this memory associated with all of these functions. Okay. So this is very important topic in programming. So we need to handle our memory. So whenever if we create any variable, we need to allocate memory space for that variable. Okay. So each and every memory location have some address. So take an example of any street. So street contains street name and each and every house contain door name. Same way, if you have memory, so if you have RAM, so if you have a RAM chip, so each and every chip contain physical pins. Okay. So each and every pin assigned to memory address. Memory address. So imagine in this way. So we have door number. In RAM, we have memory address. Okay. Then only we able to know where your variable is exactly stored. So whenever if you run any type of program, whenever if you run any code, okay, it becomes a program. So what is the difference between code and program? So code is static. Code is static. Program is dynamic. Dynamic. So when you execute, when you run, it becomes a program. So this is the basic difference between code and program. Okay. So all these programs are stored in different types of memory. Sometimes it will store in stack memory. Sometimes it will store in heap memory. Okay. So we'll discuss in later slides. Okay. So we already discussed what is static. Static is somewhat constant. So when you declare anything, so before your execution, it is static. Okay. So when you're, it won't change until the runtime. So runtime, you are able to change your data value. So this is the use of static memory allocation. So take an example of this C code. Take an example of this C code. We assign data value. So A of 3 equal to 3, 4, 6, which is static. Okay. So before executing our code, we able to determine this is the value we are able to store in A of 3. Suppose if you want to allocate dynamic memory. So what you can do, you just declare a variable A equal to 0. Okay. Use scanf function. Okay. So get the address of A. So percentage D, comma, address of A. So remove all this size. Double quotes, comma, A. Now we executed, okay. It is looking for your input. We never gave any input, okay. Just I'm giving 5, I'm entering, it will give the output. So we need to know what is happening during execution. That is why we need to have a helper printf function. So enter value for A. So give like this. So before that use /n. Now we execute. So it will ask for value. Okay, give 5, then enter. So I'll share this code with you. So in last class, we covered Python code, right? Small program. So how to give input and how to retrieve that output. Right now we are doing in C. So try to execute in this link. I'll share this link also. So the first one is static, the second one is dynamic. Okay, so it will occupy fixed size of memory. It will occupy fixed size of memory, right? But if you go for dynamic, okay, it will allocate variable size of memory space. So this is an example for static memory. So before calling any function, we are assigning values for that variable. So static memory is not that much problematic, but dynamic memory is always problematic because you don't know what is your memory capacity required for your execution. Okay, if it is small, no issue. But if it go beyond your budget, memory budget or memory allocation or capacity of memory devices, it will create some problem. Okay, so what is the most important problematic aspect in programming? Dynamic memory allocation. If you don't know how much of memory you require during execution, it will create some problem. Okay, so take an example of the same program. I'm executing over here. If I'm giving /n, so it will ask for enter value for A. So if I'm giving some very large value, if I enter, you won't get the same output because it go beyond the integer range. It will go beyond your integer range. So your hardware don't know how to store your data. It will go beyond your device capacity. You will get unexpected output. Okay. So try this value in your compiler and feel this. So that is why when you study about any data structure, you need to know what is the capacity of the data structure or type it will support. Okay, if it is not supporting, you need to increase your data range. So what you can do, you can use long int in this case. Okay, so this is one clue. What I can give to you. Right? So this is an example. So we already covered in last class. Suppose if you want to enter any number in Python, so you can give input function. So this will act like some printf function in C. So input, it will display enter number. Whatever the input you are giving, it is converted into integer and it is stored under number variable. Okay, and it will create an array depends upon your number. Suppose if you want to create an array value 5, so 5 elements if you want to create, that value will get multiplied over here. Okay, so this is an example for dynamic heap memory. So when you allocate any memory, it will do deallocation through reference counting and garbage collection. So if you are interested in these terms, go and refer Java. So Java have garbage collection capacity. Okay, C and C++ doesn't have, but Java have garbage collection capacity. Okay, so whenever a object is removed from the memory, it will contact it reference count drop to 0. It will release memory back to the heap. Okay, so this is how it will automatically allocate memory and deallocate memory. Whenever that object exists in the life cycle, it will keep your memory. If the object is removed from the memory is automatically deallocated from your device. Okay, so this technique is called garbage collector. So in Java also we have garbage collector. In Python also we have garbage collector. So it will periodically run and it will check whether it is in existing use are no longer in use. So depends upon that. So it will remove that memory space. So I'll skip this slide. I will share with you. Just go through it. We need to cover a lot more topics. I'll skip this. Today we have a lengthy topic. So two topics we need to cover. One is searching algorithm. One is sorting algorithm. So for each and every category, I will select only one algorithm for understanding purpose. So we'll discuss what is the meaning of searching algorithm. So searching algorithm are used to locate a specific element within a collection of data. So suppose if you have a list, so from that given list, you need to search a particular item in this specified location. Okay. So we need to know whether we are working in small data set or vast amount of data. So based upon that, we need to construct our searching algorithm. Okay. So most of the time in our computer, we will do searching. We will do searching in the folder, within the hard disk, within a mounting drive. So each and every time we will do search, right? It is not my mobile number. It is example input to check that variable. So for searching, we will take a linear search. So linear search is very simplest searching algorithm. Okay, it will search sequentially one by one in the given data collection. So until the targeted item able to identify, it will do search. Otherwise, it will go for the last element. So it will search from first until it will search to last element until the given item is listed out or not. Okay, so it will start from the first element of the data set. The next step, it will compare with current element with the target element. Okay. Step 3, if the current element is matched against the target, it will return its position. It will return its position. Okay. So what is important in this algorithm? To know where it is located. To know where it is located. Okay. So if you are not able to find that element, okay, then you need to move to next element. Then you need to move to next element. And you need to repeat that comparison. So until you attain your target element is found or your data set ends. Okay. So there are two results out of this linear search. Match is found or the finding element is not existing from the given list. Okay. So we'll go by simple example. So this is the logic. So what is the given input? What is the given input? 34, 78, 19, 56, 42. So this is a given list or data set. And what we supposed to search? We supposed to search number 19. Okay. So this is very simple. Only 5 elements are there. By looking, you able to know it exists in third position. But we need to do computationally with the help of a computer. Okay. So we will follow that algorithm step. So we'll search the first element 34. We try to compare the given element 19 with 34. Okay. So if it is matching, you need to return the position 1. So this is not matching. This is not matching. So what is supposed to do? You need to move to next element. You need to move to next element. So during the next element, what is supposed to do? You need to compare 19 with 78. So what is the result you got? Which is not equal. Okay. So this is not found. So this location is 2. Then you're supposed to move to next. You're moving to next. You're moving to next. Okay. Now we are doing comparison between 19 and 19. Okay. So this is exactly matching. This is exactly matching. And what is the location? location is 3. Okay, you need to return this location. You need to return this location. Okay, but technically, each and every location in array starting from 0. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. Okay, so what is the size? Size is 5. So it will start from 0 and it will end to n minus 1, 4. So this is n minus 1. So n is 5. Imagine n is 5. So that is why we return index 2. So if you are from non-computer science background, so most of the time arrays start from 0, not from 1. So I will erase this marking. Now we can see clearly. Okay. So this is a sample example. You can work in Python. So we define a function. We define a function over here. So line number 1 is called function definition. Function definition. So what is your function name? Your function name is linear search. So this is your function name. Okay. So this function contains 2 parameters. This function contains 2 parameters, or you can say 2 input, or you can say 2 argument. 2 argument. So you can say any synonymous word, all are equal. Okay. So if you want to conclude this function definition, so you need to put colon. So from here, your definition will get started. So from here, your definition will get started. Okay. So line number 2 is like for loop. It is like a for loop repetitive statement. So what it will do, it will create a variable called index. From this index value, it will search through a given range. And what is the given range? Length of your data set. So this is your first parameter. Okay. So what is the length of your first parameter? It will calculate. Okay. So it will calculate range of the first parameter. So this is the logic. Okay. So take an example of your data. So what is the data? 34, 78, 19, 56, 42. So this is the given data. And what is the target? Target is 19. So imagine you are giving a data set. You are giving a data set called data. So what is the length of this data? So what is the length of the data? Length of the data is 5. So this will create range 0 to 5. 0 to 5. So each time index will change 0, 1, 2 until 5. Okay. So next line, it will compare. So likewise, we covered in previous slide, it will compare 0 to 4. Sorry, 0 to 4. Exactly. So 0 to 4. So n equal to 5 means 0 to n minus 1. So each and every time it will check your data. Okay. So it will check 0th position. So what is the value in 0th position? 34. Okay. Your index value is now represents 34. So 34 equal to what is the target? 19. Whether it is true, it is false. It is false. So that is why it will go keep on searching this for loop. It will go keep on searching this for loop. So next time this index is incremented to 1. Okay. So it will go to next location 78. So it will check 78 equal to 19. So this is also false. Again, it will go back to for loop. Okay. Now index is changed to 2. So what is the value located in second location? 19. So 19 equal to 19, it will do comparison. So it is doing match. Okay. Then it will return the index. So what is the value of index? 2. So this function will return value 2. Okay. So this is how this function executes. Okay. So this result contain 2. Now this result contain 2. Okay. Now it will check if result not equal to -1, not equal to -1. Okay. It doesn't contains any negative value. So it will go to else. It doesn't contain negative value. So it will go to true part. So element found at index 2. It will print. Suppose if your element is not found in the given data set, it will return -1. If this function return -1, it will go to else part. It will display element not found. So what I will do, I will share this image with you. I will share this image with you. Yes, yes, sir. Exactly. Yes, I will explain. I will explain. Suppose if your target is 18, imagine like this. If your target is 18, okay. So what is the data? 34, 78, 19, 56, 42. What is target? 18. Okay. So line number 10, what it will do, it will call your function. So this is your function call. This is your function call. Okay. So this is your function definition. This is your function definition. Okay. So what you are passing for your function call, you are passing data over here. You are passing target over here. Okay. So what is the data? The entire 5 numbers. What is the target? The target is 18. So here the target is 18. The data set is your data. Okay. So data contains 5 value. Data set contains 5 value. Okay. So look at line number 2 for index, in, range, length of data set. So what is your length of data set? Length of data set is 5. Length of data set is 5. So it means the index will start from 0 to n-1, 4. So always you need to remember 0 to n-1. Okay. So the index starting from 0. So this is index 0, index equal to 0. Okay. So this is the first location. Okay. So 0, what is the index value? 0, 34 equal to target. What is the target value? 19. What is the target value? 19. Okay. Whether both are equal, 34 equal to 9? No. Okay. If it is false, it will go back to your for loop. It will go back to your for loop. Okay. Now index become 1. Index become 1. So what is the value you have in index 1? 78. Now it will compare 78 equal to 19 or not. So this is also false. Again, it will go back to your for loop. It will go back to your for loop. Okay. Now index value become 2. So here try to change 18, right? I forgot to change 18. Sorry about that. So index value 18. Okay. So index value is 2. So what is the value in index value 2? 18. 18 equal to 19. Okay. So this is also false. It will go back to for loop. Now index become 3. Index become 3. So what is the value in index 3? Okay. 56. equal to 19. So this is also false. It will go back to index. Index become 4. Okay. So what is the value stored in index 4? 42. So 42 equal to 19. So this is also false. So this is also false means this entire loop ends because it searched the entire data set. Okay. So it will return to this statement. In this return statement, it will return -1. It will return -1. Now your result contains -1. So next it will come to next line, line number 11. Here it will check if result not equal to -1. It means it is false. It is. So now it contains -1. It comes to false part. It will print element not found. If your element found, it will return index. If element is not there, it will return -1. Is it clear, sir? Yes, sir. Thank you. So we covered linear search. Okay, we need to analyze any searching algorithm. So in this case, in the worst case, linear search examines all n elements in the given list. So it making the time complexity O of n. So it means it will take constant speed. So it doesn't require additional memory, but it will check all its elements. Okay. So it cannot improve any search optimization in linear search because it will search one by one. So it is like taking attendance. Okay. So taking attendance, you need to call each and every students to know whether the student exists in your class or not. Okay. So linear search is ideal for small data set or unsorted data set where it requires simplicity and minimal overhead or the priorities. So if your database is very small, data set is very small, you can go for linear search. And we are moving to sorting algorithm. Okay, searching is one type of algorithm and sorting is one type of algorithm. Okay, yeah, so in sorting, we are picking a selection sort. So selection sort is fundamental algorithm in the field of computer science, right? It provides a simple but very effective way to sort your elements in a given list, but iteratively selecting the smallest one or either the largest element and placing it in correct position. So picking either only the smallest element from the item or largest element from the given item set. Okay. So despite it being less efficient for the large data set compared to the advanced algorithm, but this selection sort is excellent tool for understanding the basics of sorting algorithm and design purpose. Okay. So we'll see the basic idea of how selection sort algorithm works. The selection sort algorithm works in the repetitive way, finding either minimum element or maximum element from unsorted portion of the list. So here the trick is your input is unsorted, not in the ascending way, not in the descending way. So it is randomly sorted. Okay, randomly sorted. So each and every time you need to repeat that process in an order wise until the entire list is get sorted. Until the entire list is sorted. So what is the logic of this algorithm? You are given with an unsorted list, then you need to do sorting. It will turn into sorted list. So idea is very simple. Okay, they will give unsorted list, then you need to do selection sort. It will give the output as sorted list. We'll go by numerical example, right? So this is the given input 5, 1, 34, 6, 2. Okay, so we'll do initial array, we'll declare some array and we'll store in that variable. Okay, so what is the step 1? The iteration is I equal to 0. So iteration is 0. So we are searching in the first location. We are searching in the first location, 0th position. Okay, so find the largest element in the array. So what is the largest element? Sorry, this is 3, 4, not 34. I missed some comma. Okay, so which is 6, and swap with the last element. Whenever if you find the largest element, you need to search with swap with the last element. So compare the value of 0 and value of 2. So compare the last element. So what is the last element? 2. And what is the biggest number? 6. So you swap 6 with 2. So you need to start from 0. You need to start from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So totally 6 elements are there. So which is the largest? You need to swap with the last. So this is the idea. And this is the status of your data. So yellow means you are doing comparison. So green means you need to do data movement. And blue means it is sorted order. So first we are comparing 5. We are comparing 5. We are comparing 1. We are comparing 3. We are comparing 4. We are comparing 6. And we are comparing 2. So by this time, in the first iteration, what you able to know? You able to know the biggest number. What is the biggest number? 6. So you need to move 6 to last element. So in iteration 0, so the largest element is 6. Okay. So what is the last position? Last position is 5. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So replace this value over here and swap. So data movement happened between location 4 and 5. Okay. And 6 is sorted. You identify the largest element. That is why the 6 is sorted in the last position. So this is step number 1, iteration 1. Okay. So next what we will do, step number 2, I equal to 1. Again, you starting to search from 0th element, okay, to identify the largest element. So the last element become eliminated in the given list. Okay. So remaining we have 5, 1, 3, 4, 2. Okay. By appearance, you able to know the 5 is the largest, but even though we need to do comparison, so how will you move 5 to the fourth position? So compare the second position, compare the third, compare the fourth. Okay. Now you got the largest value is 5. Now you're supposed to do data movement. So this is like marking. You mark which one is the largest. Now you are moving against to the position 4. Okay. So next what will happen? This 5 will belongs to this blue color because it is sorted. So if you do 2 iteration, you are able to identify 2 biggest element in the given array. So in step 3, third iteration, you need to identify largest element out of 4 elements. So obviously it is number 4. So we need to start from 0, second position, first position, second position, third position. Okay. Now we are able to identify the largest element is 4, which is existing in third position. Okay. And no need to change. It is already in the correct place. So no swapping will happen. Okay, so this is little trick when compared to previous 2 step. So here no changes required. It means data movement never happen. Data movement never happen. Okay. So it is sorted. Remaining how many elements we have? We have only 3 elements. We have only 3 elements. The largest is 3. Okay. And we need to search from the 0 place. So 0, 2, 1, 1, and third location 3. And what is the biggest number? Biggest number is 3. And no data movement is needed. It is the largest. So keep as it is and mark it as sorted. So this is the fifth iteration. So location equal to I equal to 4. The largest element is 2. Okay. So you need to compare the first and second position. So first element is 2. So it is largest. The second element is lesser than the largest. So you need to do the swapping. He completed all elements. So all elements are get sorted. So all elements are get sorted. So it is based upon selection sort. So each and every algorithm contains pseudocode. You can do in this way. You can do minimum index and you can write selection sort in this way. You can compare each and every element. And if swapping is needed, you can do swapping. Otherwise, you can skip that step. And I gave pseudocode for the selection sort in Python. So after this session, I will share this PDF. You just go and type this code. So after each and every algorithm, either it is searching algorithm or sorting algorithm, you need to have time complexity. Okay. So you need to do both for best case, worst case. Okay. So this selection sort is very, very simple to for implementation. And that's all about today's lecture. So if you have any doubt in data storage or searching or sorting, you can ask general question. So we ended before 20 minutes, so we can discuss now. We have ample amount of time. Yeah, I can recommend one book. See book. Dennis Ritchie. So this is the programming book, C programming book written by the author. I'll share over here. So this is very good book if you want to learn C. And if you want to execute in Linux, you have GCC compiler. So you'll have a different idea how to execute in Linux. So each and every operating system having different types of configuration. Okay, so very good. I will prefer on Python book. So dancing with Python. So this is very good book. So I really like this book. So if you want to learn quantum, this book will help you. Go and check this book. I reviewed this book written by Robert S. Suter. He is a quantum scientist for past 30 years in IBM. So he written this book in very well structured. If your student want to get placed in company, if they want to know how coding or get done in industry standard, I always recommend this book. And one more book I will recommend. Non-computer science people don't know about this book most of the time. Let us see. Let us see, written by Yashwant Kanitkar. So can get from, let us see, Amazon. So in this book, they gave so much of exercise. So no one able to learn programming by reading. By doing, we able to know. If you are doing lot of mistakes, if you are able to get lot of errors, if you are able to solve, then only you are able to remember. I hope so. So please check in your library. Definitely you can check in your library. And let us see book contains solutions also. They have separate solution book. Let us see solution. I won't recommend Bala Gurusamy book because it is very straightforward. Your book need to be somewhat challenging. So that is what I feel. Online tool practicing, if you Google online C compiler, it will come online Python interpreter, it will come, sir. So much of online tools are there. Okay, so I'll recommend two more tools. Very good question. Python program visualizer. So Python program visualizer. So do like this. Do like this. I'll share this link for you. So you can visualize how your Python code get executed. Python is better. So C is better, but if you want to learn quantum computing right now, try to learn Python. So in future, they will give native support in C also. In same way, you can see C programming visualizer. C programming visualizer. Thanks for asking this question. Sometimes I'll forget. If you are using this tool, if you are using this website, you're able to understand how internally it works within your hardware. Okay. So here you can edit your code. I tried. I'll do some simple programs int A, B, C, or sum, right? So A equal to 5, B equal to 6, sum equal to A plus B. So next what I will do, addition equal to percentage D, I'll give sum. So I try to visualize this code. I try to visualize. Why? Okay, B, I missed semicolon. Okay, so this is what I'm, yes, thanks for the notification. I try to zoom this. Now look at here. I declare three variables, A, B, sum. I declared A equal to 5, B equal to 6, sum equal to A plus B. So you can track your execution one by one. So wherever your program get executed, it will come into main function. So you can see this red color arrow, which is like control. Okay. So in computer science, in classical computer, the control is sequential. So it will come directly to line number 3. It will execute int main. Okay. Then you need to execute your next step. Before this, you can see how many variables are there. You declare 3 variables, A, B, and sum. Okay. So click next. Click next. It will go to second step. So second step is A equal to 5. This is declaration. So it will assign value 5 to variable A. So you can see over here. Okay. So click next. Click next. You can see assignment. So once you completed assignment, it will go to next step B equal to 6. Maybe I'll reduce zoom. B equal to 6. So if I click next, it will assign B equal to 6. It will move to line number 7, sum equal to A plus B. So if we execute line number 7, it will do summation between A and B. It will store 11 to variable sum. So click next. What is the output? Sum become 11. And what is the output is supposed to get? Printf addition value equal to percentage slash and sum. It means you will have printout output. So click next. Addition equal to 11. So in this way, you can able to understand flow of your C code. In the same way, you are able to visualize in Python also. So this is for Python link. This link I will share with you. I will share with you one for Python. I will reshare with you. So if you are teaching programming for your students, you can use tools like this. So it will give some in-depth visualization for your students as well as for you also. So this is especially helpful in pointer. I'll share all these videos, all these links. Don't worry about this. So resources are plenty. We need to pick our resource to deliver our content. Thank you all. Thank you all. Stack memory is used to express any arithmetic operation, arithmetic expression. Okay. Take an example of so 5 into 2 plus 8 minus 3. But if you are giving some bracket, okay. So in this case, stack memory will be helpful. Stack memory will be helpful. So stack, it is just like this bucket. Okay. So whatever you are giving as input, first in, last out. So stack memory is first in, lost out. So I'll give some example. You can search for data structure live. So I'll share this link to you. So you can download a visualization tool over here. You're able to visualize. So I already downloaded. So this is how this tool will work. So download, extract, and you can see visualization. Okay. So whatever the algorithm I discussed, you can find over here. So array, if you want to visualize array, you can look over here. Okay. So you can insert any item. You can do traverse. Okay. You can visualize animation. So this is like traverse. So I am starting from 0th element. Each and every item I am keep on moving. So you can follow your coding also. You can follow your coding. Okay. So click in the top and you can select sorting algorithm. Okay. So you can do sorting. So insertion sort, what we discussed, selection sort. So click selection sort, today's lecture. So it will take each and everything, right? So it will find the minimum element. So if it is minimum, it will move to the first location. Again, it will search one by one. If it is found at minimum, it will move to the next position. So first, try to understand the concept, then try to use that tool, then go for demo. Right? So quantum, I will recommend Nielsen Cheng book, Quantum Computing. Actually, today's topic is difficult. We need to abridge so many concepts. Very challenging for me. So this is the book I will recommend. So this book is somewhat complex, but it will give wholesome information about quantum computing. And there is one more book written by Thomas Wong. Quantum computing book. So I'll share the PDF. So because it is open source book, so you can share this link to anyone. You can take printout if you want, no issue. So this book is very good. It teaches both classical and quantum along with digital design. So 3-in-1 purpose. So if you are framing curriculum, try to introduce for first year or second year. This book is very good for newcomer. So any questions? I will share these links. I will share this PDF. No issue. Thank you all.
So participants, I think there were plenty of questions already covered. If you have further queries, you may ask, or else we may conclude the session for the today. We will meet tomorrow at the same time. Okay, so with these comments, I can say the session was definitely fruitful for most of us. Okay, so due to very heterogeneous backgrounds, many of us might not be aware about some of these concepts. So definitely that will help them pace up their knowledge in the domain, and that will be helpful for future sessions. So I thank you all the participants for actively participating in the session, and thank you, Dr. Jai Kumar sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. So no more queries. So we may close for the day. Thank you, sir.